between Little Rock mayoral candidates Frank Scott Jr. and Baker Kurris. A new poll showing this race is a statistical toss-up. Frank Scott Jr. finished with the most votes election night and remains in the lead, but Baker Kurris isn't too far behind. Fox 16's Jesse Turner breaks down the numbers.
We want to make certain that we move from being disconnected to connected.
They want somebody that not only can talk a big game, but can actually play a big game.
The runoff race is on to decide who will be the next mayor of the capital city, Frank Scott Jr. or Baker Kurris.
We feel that this will be a higher turnout than a lot of the elections we've held in December previously.
The voting machines are in. The Pulaski County Election Director is ready for early voting Tuesday.
We expect several thousand more people to vote.
Little Rock voters can cast their ballots at any of these places, 8 to 5 at the main site, 10 to 5 at the off sites, with no voting on Saturday or Sunday, and only the main site open next Monday. Poe expects even more voters on Election Day, December 4th, but some polling places have temporarily changed.
We tried to move them to the next closest location to where the folks actually live in those precincts.
The move affects 4 precincts, but some argue it helps one candidate in particular.
That type of talk is not at all helpful. Basically, we have to work with what we're given. If they have reasons to where they can't provide their facilities to us on December 4th, then we understand.
Poe says now that the county is past the minor scheduling conflicts, the runoff should be smooth, with only 2 candidates on the ballot this time around.
It should move fairly quickly.
Once again, that debate is tonight. This is the only scheduled one-on-one debate with the candidates ahead of Election Day. It begins at 6:30, and if you have any questions for the candidates, be sure to tweet it to us using the hashtag #LRMayor. An Arkansas lawmaker reviving her bill that would make it more difficult for a criminal with a serious mental illness to be sentenced to death. Representative Vivian Flowers' legislation would allow the person to petition the court after receiving the death penalty. The court would appoint 2 examiners to decide the extent of the mental illness. If the court determines the person has a serious mental illness, the death penalty is off the table, but the state could still seek life without parole.
We need to pay attention to mental illness and treatment of mental illness as a crime prevention, as a capital crime prevention issue.
Flowers says a similar measure passed in Connecticut, and it is being explored in 7 other states.
A state lawmaker wants to make it easier for landlords to evict their tenants for not paying rent while still giving the tenants due process. Representative Jimmy Gazaway, a landlord himself, brought up a Senate bill Monday. He says it would make the process faster and cheaper by allowing district courts to hear the cases instead of circuit courts. The Arkansas Supreme Court would have to extend the jurisdiction to district court, but an attorney told lawmakers the justices won't do that without the legislature approving a bill.
But this is just another avenue through civil procedure that we hope to utilize through district court, which will make it easy for landlords to kind of proceed like you would in a small claims case.
One senator says there were still concerns about how the bill would get rid of bad tenants and lower costs. Another state lawmaker wants to make a concealed carry license cheaper for Arkansans. Representative Jim Dotson is working on a bill that would cut the initial application fee in half from $100 to $50. State police administer the licenses. When Dotson previously filed the bill, he said the agency was opposed, concerned it would reduce its revenue. Dotson's bill would also create a lifetime concealed carry license.
Prosecutors are now presenting their criminal case against a fired Dallas police officer to a Dallas County grand jury. Police arrested Amber Geiger on a manslaughter charge 3 days after the shooting of Harding University graduate Botham Jean. Geiger claims she shot thinking someone was inside her apartment, but she was actually in the wrong unit. Details and results of the hearing will not be released until the grand jury finishes its review.
A Lincoln County family is looking for the thieves who stole vintage cars from their dad's home. The 2 Ford Model A cars are more than 80 years old. Monica King says the antiques were passed down from her dad, who passed away in 2010. The sheriff's office says they have several leads and persons of interest. King has been looking everywhere for the cars and even searched in other states.
It makes you feel empty. Why would somebody take something that didn't belong to them? I mean, they had no reason for them other than the money.
The family is offering a $1,000 reward for information leading up to an arrest and the cars returned. If you know anything about this case, call the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office.